I always like that Sonic Blast. It kind of gets me in the mood. And it is a magnificent Monday, everybody. This is Mark Gassert. Elevate your profits. Hey, I have to share some good news and bad news. Tom is not with us tonight. Yes, we have a guest, but Tom had surgery. He had knee surgery. He's doing really well. He just texted me probably like about an hour or so ago. And Tom, if you're out there, listen to Nurse uh, Kathy. I'm sure she'll take very good care of you. So don't be in a hurry to rush back, but I'm glad everything went well. The surgery went well on his knee. So that's a good thing. And just want to give a shout out to my compadre. I know that you'll be back in the thick of things very soon. And this evening, we have a guest that, what can I say? I met this gentleman. I've been known to take walks. It's kind of funny I mentioned that. And in Peachtree Corners, believe it or not, there's a place called Peachtree Corners Center. So I walk from where I live in Turnberry Oaks. Shout out to everybody in Peachtree Corners. And my offer still stands. All those in the Peachtree Corners Business Association, I challenge you to come on here and talk the finer points about your business, cause, purpose, all that fun stuff. But anyway, I met Bryson. And essentially, I was taking a walk and I met him and his lovely wife. And I believe they were having yogurt with, it looked really good with fruit and so forth. Unfortunately, I was walking, so I had to keep moving, but we talked briefly. And while we're talking about elevate your profits, real quick, why do you want to do this? What are we all about? What we're about is if you have a purpose, a cause, a business, a mission, whether it's network marketing, affiliate marketing, your own business, a brick and mortar institution, we don't care what it is. You're working on a book, or maybe you're looking at doing missionary work, whatever it is, that's what Elevate Your Profits is all about. It's not just about the bank account, although that's important. As Tom always says, we take you from your mindset to the bank account, so to speak. So getting back to our guest tonight, what can I say? His name is Bryce Grandison. I know he is originally from LA. He is in real estate. And tonight we're going to tap into his expertise. And I think this is kind of cool. We got a West Coast guy that moved East Coast. He's in hot Atlanta, which is a good thing, right? So we're going to find out from Bryce what real estate's all about, what's going on in his world. And that's really all I'm going to say, because I'm going to bring him on here and let him start talking. Bryce, what's up?
Mark, it is a pleasure to be here with you. And again, like you mentioned, the sentiment behind Tom. I hope Tom is getting better and taking the time that he needs to continue to keep feeling his best. So, but man, I'm super excited to be here with you. Like you said, we are here out of just casually catching up on a conversation as you were doing your routine walk. My wife and I were enjoying our acai bowls right there from Playa Bowls. Big shout out to Playa Bowls. We love Playa Bowls in that area. And so, and we just hit it off. And number one, I'm a people guy. I love people. I love being curious about people's stories and who they are. I got to learn about you, your son who coaches football, you and how you've lived there right there in Peachtree Corners for a really long time, which is awesome. And me and my wife have just recently moved here last year. But man, we are loving it here in the state of Georgia. First time ever living outside of California, but nonetheless love it a lot and are enjoying it for sure.
Outstanding. Well, can I ask, what brought you here? Why Atlanta? Everybody has a story. So if you don't mind, why don't you start a little bit like where you started out, and then what kind of gravitated you here to Hotlanta?
I'll give you the full backstory. I always love kicking off conversations like this, giving people my full kind of quick life story, I should say. But nonetheless, man, I'm Bryce Grandison here with you. I am originally from Oakland, California, San Francisco Bay Area. My wife and I are high school sweethearts. Been together since the first month of freshman year of high school. So we are best friends, enjoying each other's time and still liking each other a lot. Fast forward, went down to Southern California, or just a couple years out of high school. I played college football down in Southern California, and that's where out of there, had a great career there. But then fast forward, went ahead and got my business degree. Got my business degree. Went to go work for a global retailer for over 2.5 years, where I worked in all of their management positions. And then from there, I always had a love and passion for real estate, though. So I went back to school. I got my master's degree in real estate from Chapman University, which is down in Southern California, Orange County area. Got my master's degree in real estate, transitioned that into coming out, and then from at that point, getting a role where I was an asset manager for a real estate investment firm out in Los Angeles, where I was overseeing about 150 million of multifamily property apartment buildings across Washington, D.C., as well as Los Angeles County. And so, great time there. Learned a lot, gained a ton of experience, oversaw a lot of financial performances of our assets. But I always had more of a broker's personality and skill set, and ended up telling my boss that one day, thinking that I was coming to him as a mentor, and he ended up, letting me know, hey, cool, your last day be in 2 weeks. And I wasn't necessarily planning on that to be the case, but it ended up being such a blessing, as my wife and I were just a few days away from coming to come see some friends graduate from down here in Atlanta, and we have family who live right here in the Atlanta area, North Atlanta area as well. And ultimately, just kind of felt like God was kind of calling us to move out here from that trip. And that was in May 2024. We landed out here in July. We didn't waste any time. My wife is just got her master's degree in acting right before we left. She's an actress. She's awesome. Totally my right hand partner. And nonetheless, we've been out here since last July, and have been loving it and hit the ground running ever since.
So here you go, like everybody. I'm walking, minding my own business. This old white beat up dude, doing his thing, and this cute couple sitting there, and I just felt compelled to talk to you. I think I initiated the conversation, and then it just went from there. And just from what I met, and now I see even more of you, and I've also seen some of your content on LinkedIn. Uh, Bryce is very astute in real estate, I can tell, and we're going to get into this. But you have a very lovely wife too. I mean, so you complement one another. Man, I remember when I was that young. I won't ask you how young you were, but
What was that? Just a couple days ago?
yeah, like maybe 30 plus some odd years.
Wow.
But we got some comments here, so I'm just going to put this out. Robert Brooker says hi to us. Robert is, hey Bryce, do you work with wholesalers, investors? So there you go. That's a good question. I'm going to let you take that question there.
Yeah. Robert, that's a great question. Yes, I do. To answer your question on the front end, on the back end, to support that question, number one, I come from, like I mentioned, a real estate investment background. So for me, I'm having fun with this. I'm now on the realtor investor space, and I understand and know that it is a big deal for a lot of people. But for me, I've done it at the institutional level of, we're talking, $100+ million worth of real estate, where I was overseeing 640 units of real estate, and a number of different managerial processes and those things. So now when I'm down here facilitating one, two, three, five, 10, or even $500,000 transactions, that's great. That's the fun stuff. And so, yes, I do work with wholesalers. Yes, I do work with investors. Some of my investors that I'm working with right now, they're in the space of doing fix and flips or straight up investment properties. Some who are interested in your smaller commercial deals of duplexes, fourplex, all the way up to 5 or 10 units. But all things in between. Wholesalers are great partners for me right now.
Look at that. Good deal. And let me ask I'll share his other comment. Robert likes to talk a lot. So he said Atlanta is like Hollywood East. So,
South
and
is what
by
I
the
once
way,
heard.
Robert, I call him Mr. O Canada. He is from Canada. So there you go. And that's how, this whole COVID thing, everybody started doing their podcasts, their live streams, their this, their that. We were all in our, like, I call it the hibernation tubes. We couldn't go anywhere. I'm going to say hi to this guy is a master salesperson, Randy Chafee. You need to check him out. He has a podcast. It's called Building Wins. Randy is a good guy to know. And maybe Randy one day will get you on his brand, so to speak. Randy knows a few similar people that I know, and I'm going to give a shout out to Benjamin Franklin Gay the third. And Ben Gay has written numerous books. Since we're talking sales, I got to put a plug in here for him. It's the Closers 1, 2, 3 series. I don't know if you ever read them. I always called them the Blue Books. And, he knew a gentleman by the name of Napoleon Hill. He was mentored by Napoleon Hill. So he was like the last disciple. So Ben's been around, and Ben was rip roaring and going crazy here, right here in hot Atlanta back in the day. Of course, that's when they had uh, stewardesses, not flight attendants, back in his day. So,
Yes, yes,
well, Ben, if
absolutely.
you're listening to this, I'm teasing you, but a really great guy I got to meet, and I had a thing called Mark's Message, which I am going to resurrect. You know what? I'm going to bring it back, and I gave some sales tips, and I talked to different people, so it's always good to get your brand out there. But Randy, thank you, and Robert saying hi to you. But getting back to where we're coming from, and I've got to ask you this question. I forgot to. So maybe you can help me out here. What are you grateful for today? Can you tell me?
That's a special question. I have a real estate coach. I give my own shout out to Mike Mulder, my real estate coach. He's a real estate professional here in the area for a long, long time. He asked me a similar question when we first started working together, and at that specific day, similar to this one, it was a day in which my wife and I were able to jump in a truck with my uncle and go all the way up to Winder on a Wednesday afternoon, and go pick up a day bed that when my wife wanted to put in her little creative room. And I was able to do that right in the heart of the day. I was able to move around meetings, change things up. I say all that to say, in the same way, we just picked up a family member from the airport right before I came to come see, but right before we jumped on this call. And things like that are what I'm grateful for, to be able to move and shake and do what I want to do in the midst of my day, to be able to be with my wife and say, hey, I can do this for you. I can do that for you. Granted, that's not every day because I got a pretty full schedule these days. But nonetheless, to be able to control and say, hey, I'm the one who's in charge of my time. I'm just always over the moon about that. And that's what I came out here to Georgia to pursue. When I came out here, it just kind of felt like there was a little bit of resistance, and didn't feel like it was the right move for me to just jump back into going to go work in corporate America, or going to go work for a big real estate firm where I was going to be traveling up and down to Midtown every day. And that's where I'm in. I'm living right in, where I'm supposed to be. And so I'm feeling grateful about that for sure.
Good deal. And I always say this: if you don't have a strong why, eventually you're going to lose your way. And I can tell you do, but what's your why in real estate, Bryce?
For me, I fell in love with real estate back in undergrad. I started, learning about investing, read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And for me, I think that the two highest elements of, of course, after your, I'm saying, your faith and whatever that means to you. But I think that the two highest things that, we're really all kind of pursuing here in this life is time and money. And honestly, with money comes time. And when you can get time, now you can really spend that time with the ones who matter the most to you. And so for me, that's really what I'm looking forward to and pursuing, is creating a life that I can be able to spend as much time as possible present with my family, present with my wife, creating new memories, that is valuable to me through the path and the career of real estate. And so that's my why, I would say, is really focus back in on how is it that I take control of my time and give the most to it, to my family.
Awesome. And, I just want to say this to everybody. This past weekend, I watched my son who's chasing his dream, and there he was coaching on the sideline. And it's kind of wild. I'm watching a spring football game and I'm sitting there looking at him. I'm like, oh my God, I remember when he was in high school and just all this craziness. He went through 4 years, played football, did his thing, got his degree in education. Now he's pursuing an MBA, and really hope that works out for him. And it's amazing. I meet more younger people. I have more faith in our country and the direction it's going to head into. I know some people might think I'm weird about that, but I think that there's some real, as I always say, positive young brothers out there and sisters that are doing their thing and they're going to make it happen. And that's collectively, that's everybody out there. Everybody's got a special gift or talent. And I learn from them more probably than they learn from me, man. Because
Hey,
when
dog.
it comes to technology, I mean, these kids are just like cutting edge. It's my son told me one day that you and mom shouldn't have an iPhone; they should cut you off. But he was messing with me, of course. So that's
That's
the
funny.
price you pay. When you get 60 and beyond, and I'm not embarrassed to say I'm 68 years old. So, I'm a beat up old guy, but it's kind of crazy and I still umpire. So when I see these kids now that they're older in age and they'll say, "Hey, do you remember me?" And they're like 15 or 16. I'm like, "No, I don't remember you." But they'll say, "Do you remember the park?" But it's
Wow.
anyway, I just want to put in a plug for that because getting a chance to talk to you, we talk to people that some of them have all these titles, positions, they're out there doing it. I like talking to people that are starting out, that are humble, they're hungry, they want to learn, they're looking to do things. And I'm not against talking to the higher ups, but I think you can learn a lot more. It kind of instills in me that fire like, man, look at this dude, look what he's doing. And the other question I got to ask you here, Bryce, is okay, so you came here. So, what are the current differences between 2025 versus 2024? And I hate it's a two-parter. And will tariffs affect your industry? We are inundated right now with the tariff thing. And I'm not taking sides, I'm not getting political. But how's that working out? And how do you handle that with your potential clients?
That's so funny. Coming from the Los Angeles commercial real estate industry, a lot of what was just talked about, just commercial real estate in general, a lot of what was talked about early 2024 was like, hey, we're just surviving through, to until 2025. And so now we get to 2025 and we're like, okay, so what are we doing now? You know what I'm saying? Now there's so much level of uncertainty. But what I want to say to that is the ones who were able to be diligent over the last 5 years, making great investments, preparing themselves accurately for times like this, are now in the best position to be, I would say, as least impacted, I would say, by the uncertainty of our country. If you think back to almost all, financial crisis that we've had in the country, let's go all the way back to, the 2000, dot-com boom, to the great financial crisis, to then even COVID. And it's all come out, though, the ones who have had capital and the ones who have put themselves in good positions when it was going well, on strategic approaches there, are now in positions in which, when it's stuff is starting to hit the fan, they can operate accurately with having a good foundation. So now, how do tariffs impact our industry? Well, I'll tell you just a personal story. I have some clients who are closing here on a property in a couple weeks, and quite frankly, just the buyer sentiment is what is impacting my industry. I think more than anything. Granted, right now we're at a place in which, hey, homes that are here and active are not necessarily impacted by 145, you know what I'm saying, percent China bring
Right.
over right now at this particular moment. Granted, there are going to be some level when we come down to the lumber that's coming from Canada and some different players, you know what I'm saying, out of the country that come down for to starting for new homes. That may be an impact moving forward in the future. However, though, when it comes down to just today and how it truly is impacting us, I would probably just say buyer sentiment. And for me, as a as a service and as an advisor, I go as my clients go. I go as they do or they don't feel comfortable. Um, Sometimes I have to be the one who could kind of consult them and say, hey, well, let's think about this, holistically. Let's think about this objectively. You're in the fastest growing, county in Georgia. You got under the median home price, that would be for your specific county. You got the home that you wanted, and you got it at the price that you could be able to afford. Granted, do we know the level of uncertainty that will come with your specific job? I'm not sure, but you've been in your job for over 10 plus years. You also are in, one of you is in a more service oriented, I'm saying, kind of financial institution job. One of you is in a more working with your hands, always traveling on the go, type of job. Both of you have been employed for over 20, 30 years collectively. So where do we then go with that? I don't necessarily know. But what I do know today is that you're fine. And what I can at least allow you to know and motivate you to know, kind of moving forward is that, hey, we got in at the price and point that we wanted. We got in at the place that you can feel most comfortable. Now we have to, yes, let this thing iron itself out, but you're in a position in which you can't necessarily read the headlines every single day and be more uncertain about the purchase that you got went in so excited and certain about, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
And no, that absolutely. I pick up the phone here every now and then, and I still do that. I do other communicate other ways. Everybody, this is another platform I use, streaming. So this is the next best thing for you and I, instead of face to face, to do it this way. But I hear these sentiments every now and then of, hey, not that we're not interested, but right now we just want to kind of assess, see where we're at. I don't know what they're waiting for or what they want to assess. I laugh about it's
Okay.
kind of like when you go to the grocery store. I know I'm being very simplistic, and you need a gallon of milk and you need a loaf of bread. You're not going to be thinking about it. You're going to go buy it. So I get it. It's a bigger ticket item and a major league investment with a house. Like for us, when someone tells me, well, I'm not quite sure, and I'm like thinking, okay, $149 for 1 hour, and it's a virtual workshop, and you get to engage with like-minded people or people in different industries, and you can blow that easily in Peachtree Corners here. I'm sorry, I'm going to get nasty. And you can go to happy hour, or you can go
Right.
buy dinner with your wife, and guess what? You're going to spend about that much depending on where you go. And
I'll flip it back to you, Mark. You mentioned, okay, I don't know what they're waiting for. Let me ask you a question. How much? Yeah, I'll give you three kind of questions. How much was a loaf of bread, what I'm saying, or a gallon of milk 30 years ago when, what I'm saying, when you were here starting to get familiar with Peachtree Corners? How much was, let's just say, buying a car, and how much was your house when you bought it X
oh yeah,
amount of years ago?
oh
If
yeah.
you can answer me those questions, I'll then lead you kind of into my next point of what I'm thinking.
Well, it was a lot less, and I will tell you that the value of my house went
Right.
up, but I
Yes.
didn't pay and wouldn't pay what they're asking for today. And that's why people that maybe want to downsize, they do, but it's what you don't get in return. Do I get the same value in terms of, maybe it's not a bigger house. It's a smaller house, obviously, but what do you get? And some of us don't want to be cookie cuttered into townhomes and condos, and it just depends on where you're at with that, you know.
My thought. Go ahead.
And all I was going to say is we're all different that way, you know.
Clients who are like, I want to be in the in the brand new townhome because of X, Y, and Z. I'm 2025 2020 plus built, or some because clients are like, hey, I want something that's a little bit more lived in, that I can feel like it's new and different. I think that the thought and point that I was just really wanting to drive home is it was a lot less back then, and no matter what we're going through now, when you purchase a home and ideally you're planning on living in it, or at least holding it for anywhere from 5 to 10 years, let's call it 7. You're walking into any point, and let's just say we hit a recession this year or next year. If you hold your home, you stay, you steadfast in a place at home, this too shall pass. We all thought at one point when COVID came, it was like, oh my goodness, the world's coming to an end.
Right.
And look, when it was, that was a quick one. It was, March 16th, I think it was 2020, everything went dark, to within a year, everything is booming. And people are out moving and shaking. So I think that people have to understand that, you buy real estate and you wait. You don't wait to buy real estate. And at the end of the day, Warren Buffett once said, hey, when others are being fearful, you be greedy. When others are being greedy, you be fearful. Now, granted, I have, somebody say, hey, well, that's Warren Buffett with a bunch of assets on the table. Well, the sentiment is the same. You know what I'm saying? And when you're able to pull the trigger on something and you can get in at a price that is comfortable for you, then I think that we should go ahead and move forward.
Which leads me to my next point. And Dan Altmeyer, very good friend of mine, and I'll put a plug in for this. Dan and I got to know one another. He's even been on this show, and it's through an organization called Grow Live Academy, and it teaches you how to do this. So a few moons ago, there's a gentleman named of Ken Walls. And if you don't know who he is, check him out. He's got a program called Breakthrough Walls. But Ken actually picked up the phone, called me, and said, "What do you want to do? Why are you interested in this?" And next thing I know, I hooked up and joined, and I learned how to do this. So I took that bad vibe of what we were going through in COVID. I don't know if we lost Bryson here, but and what he's talking about here now, Dan shares a topic. Last year was the height of work from home. Now the move seems to be return to the office. I have heard that. And some corporations are downsizing. What is the future CBE trends?
I'm going to guess that we're talking about CRE, which is commercial real
Yeah,
estate trends.
that's what he means. Yeah.
Yes, understood. So yes, probably maybe 2-3 years ago, I would agree. Last year, probably the last 2 or 3 years have been the height of the work from home. Now, after a few years, let's just say we gave it a run of 3 to 4 years from March of 2020 to now. Okay, here we are. Corporations are recognizing that maybe we're letting some people slide, and not being able to see them, have them, local around here. And now everybody understands and knows when you're working from home, you're working, but yes, you did go run that errand, you did go do this, you did go do that. So now when it comes down to it, and financial metrics are not being met, or the question is, okay, where is our money at? All companies are now coming down to, okay, how can we trim some of the fat? Who are the people who are not here in the office that I can't really see? Yeah, granted, maybe they might be doing something, but now that we're taking, AI and automation to a whole new level, can we, that person who I'm not seeing, who I haven't seen in 2 or 3 months, or however, they come in maybe once a week, or they don't come in at all, can I automate that job? I'm already not seeing them. I'm already not giving me that value in the face to face. So that's something to consider. I think that on the commercial real estate side, there is going to be a return to office in some of your major CBD, which is your central business district, metropolitan areas. This now new generation, my generation of young people who are coming in to the space, that's the same generation who was in college during COVID. And they recognize, hey, I don't want to be in a work environment that is conducive to just straight up, I'm staying at home. I did that already, and it didn't work out too well for me. Right. So now they want to be in the active space. They want to be in the amenitized office. They want to be in the central business district where they can go get happy hour after work, and then they can go and run and do their cleaners and then go to the gym all within the same kind of block and space. And so I think that that's going to be the future of commercial real estate, especially when it comes down to the office and retail sector. And especially now you're always, going from where are your places where you can do mixed use development and get live, work, play. So we're talking, townhomes or multifamily combined with your retail space and your office all in one area. Those are going to continue to keep being your main, best use of, properties that are coming to the market where you can get working in that area. You can get, I'm going and running and doing my errands and I'm hanging out with my friends and family. And also too, being able to get some level of shopping and some expertise there. We're getting a brand new development that's coming in 2026 right here in Johns Creek by Toro Development, the same community and builders and developers who have recently purchased the Forum right in your backyard in Pre-Street Corners, and also who have Avalon. And so they're coming right now to Johns Creek, which is going to be another live, work, play environment. And I'm super excited to see what that brings to the city.
Yes, and we know about growth in Peachtree Corners, but I got to put a plug since Dan, you hopped on here. Dan was a guest, and he's written a book called Aging Gracefully, Planning Thoughtfully. It's a very good book, and it talks about a lot of things. As you get older in life, things change. Your parents get older. Maybe you have to take care of them. All of us that are the boomer generation, and Dan's one of those. I'll have to show you a picture sometime when I was like 6 or 8 or something. You'll laugh. But anyway, but my point is, there's a lot of talented people like Dan wrote that book, and I'm reading it again because there's just so much information. It makes you think, and now it applies. Like you don't think about it now, but like I'm dealing with a 92-year-old, father-in-law. My parents, they orphaned me. They left the planet. My dad made it to 95, but he always used to tell me about don't let stress get you down, and that's what is bad for the heart. Just little things like that. And, I kind of miss not being able to talk to him. But my point being about all this, things change. It's like the seasons. You can't fight it. And Peachtree Corners has growth now, as we know. And some of us aren't real happy about it. Some of us, we appreciate it, but then again, we also know this is going to create more of a traffic pattern. This creates other things maybe you're not going to be appreciative of. But then on the upside, it brings opportunity for those that are looking to work. So it's a give and take, and we all live in the same planet. And right now, we're living in the state of Georgia, so we all got to learn how to figure out a way that's going to work for everybody, how we coexist. It can't be just about a youth movement, and it can't be about just, our elderly folks, but we got to care for them. Because to me, it's just the way I look at it. I totally respect our elders because they've been through the gamut. And if there's any of you from the greatest generation from World War II, my hat goes off to you. My dad did that, and I know there are a lot of other dads out there my age did that, and it's just incredible the way they, once the war was over, what really amazes me is how they went after and pursued their dreams and goals. And there's a lot to learn from that. People that started their own businesses and what you're doing right now, even in real estate, and it's amazing. So,
totally agree. And definitely, honoring, you mentioned your father-in-law being 92. My grandmother is 91, turning 92 this year. And it's important to keep living out and enjoying each one of those memories with them. So I agree.
So let me ask you now, with that question, I think I've got one or two more up here I'm going to throw at you. So we talked about that. So what are the current differences? Oh, I did ask you that one. So we got into the tariff thing, and yeah, here we go. I need to ask you this. I always like doing this with people. What's
Uh-huh.
new? What's now? What's next for you? Like now you're here, okay? That was kind of the new thing, but what are you working on now? Can you share anything that you're working on, projects?
That's great. Yes, you being here in Georgia, now diving into the residential real estate side, coming from the commercial real estate side, which is great, because not many, if any at all, some, but not many of commercial real estate professionals know residential. And so for me, what's now is really building out a niche of being heavily, and everybody in between, but heavily kind of trying to lock in on commercial real estate professionals being my target audience when it comes down to their residential needs. And why? Some people are like, "Hey, what do you mean by that?" Well, I'm actually flipping the funnel, I guess you would say, and instead of being another, I guess I'm getting background
I love
going on
it,
here.
man. It's like
Yeah,
fireworks
I
going
didn't
off.
plan that. I didn't plan that. But instead of being another commercial real estate broker who is, kind of fighting for these few big commercial real estate properties, I'm actually going to be the one residential, broker and realtor who knows how to speak commercial already. And now all of these professionals are now my target audience. So that's my thought point there. Always now to creating a focus point of being trusted advisor when it comes down to real estate. And so now I'm joining and gathering in on a new group called Provisors, which was they're a national group of different attorneys and CPAs and financial advisors and those kind of things. But that's my focus point and my target audience is really creating great relationships with real estate attorneys, with just straight up attorneys, estate planners, financial advisors, sports and entertainment managers, anybody who advises someone else, I want to be in great contact with because I can then be the real estate guy who can help serve your clients as well. And now we're able to eat and win. What's next? Really, over these next 3 years or so, here in the state of Georgia, which is different than California, here in the state of Georgia, you need a real estate salesperson's license for 3 years before you could become a broker. Granted, of course, I'm going to go through those 3 years. I'm now with Keller Williams. I plan eventually, of course, I'm saying, another starting off, I'm saying, with my own brokerage. But that has to start today with what I'm creating and the relationships that I'm fostering and serving now. Brokerage, finding other ancillary businesses that can help serve between property management, within staging companies, real estate media companies, finding opportunities and ways to acquire and be a business acquirer at the same time, in which now I can say, hey, look, I got a lot of ancillary pieces of this business that can kind of all raise ties to the sky, and then also be heavily informed and fashioned with investing as well. So that's next, but right now is the focus on creating great relationships right where I'm at here in Georgia.
And I've seen some of your content. I know you like golf. I know that you talked about that, and I think it was either a Facebook or a LinkedIn, and you were talking about you were at a golf property, and you were talking about the homes, and you're not afraid to get in front of the camera. My face is not a face for camera. I've got an excuse though. Many moons
No
ago, I
way.
really was in an automobile. So it took about
Nice.
three operations to get me together, and that's true. But I always kiddingly say that once you get older, I got a face for radio. But and this is why
That's
I
funny.
challenge, people your age and even younger, man, climb on board, share your story. I know a lot of people do this, and I just wanted to say to all you guys that are out there, like Dan, Robert, uh, Randy, and there's others watching right now, I see. Feel free to tag and share this out Because if this can help somebody, maybe somebody's thinking about doing real estate. Maybe somebody lost their job, and it's like, hey, I've always kind of wanted to go down this road. So please tag, share, and like if you choose. And you know what? As I always keenly say, here's a saying I kind of stole from Grant Cardone. I think you know who he is, but he's often said it's better to suck and show up than just not show up at all. So, maybe sometimes I have a phone call where I suck, but you know what? I show up and they remember me and it's like, "Oh my God, it's you again." You know what? How many times do I got to tell you no? And well, I said, I don't know, but I will share a story. I've had a gentleman pick up the phone and he said, "Don't you ever call me again, blah, blah, blah." So I waited about 3 minutes and I called him back, and it would be like for you, it'd say, "Hey, Bryce, I know you said for me not to ever call you. Was that like the next 3 months, 6 months, or for eternity? I mean, which one was it?" He said, "You just won't go away. Send me something. Okay. Now leave me alone." But it was kind of funny. And that's a true story. Because I said, if I become that much of a pain, then I will call you back and say, "You can tell me, you horse's ass, don't you ever call me again with your crap." Um,
Yeah.
so you got to have, and my point about all this is you got to have fun with things. And I've been kicked to the curb. I know what it's like to lose a job. I know what it's like to struggle to make ends meet. Hey man, I know what it's like to almost lose your house. Now if you want to talk to me that on the sidebar, I can tell you. So I guess what I'm saying is you're not going to con the con man, and all that glitters sometimes is not gold. But I've just learned to keep my mouth closed and learn even from people like yourself. It doesn't matter the age; it's the expertise that you bring to the table. And Dan, I do want to say again, thank you for writing that book. It's very helpful, and I'll hold it up again. He's got his link here, but I'm mainly not doing that so much for that. It's a very good book. It's very simple to read, and he's been in the financial planning industry for years. The fact that he took the time to write that, I appreciate that. Um,
Thanks as well, Dan. I'm going to connect with you on Facebook right now.
there you go, Dan. Um, and if you ever want to hook up, feel free to hook up with Dan, like you said, Robert, Randy Chafee. Like I said, Building Wins. I'll even tell you, man, the guy to check out, and you look at what he does. Ken Walls is the master of live streaming and podcasting. I mean, he's got it figured out to the nth degree. And I won't even tell you who he's had on here. He's had some heavy, heavy hitters. One of them I just mentioned, Grant Cardone. So I won't even go there, man. So he's had some political types on his show too. So he's pretty stout. Good guy to learn from. So Bryce, tell me a little bit about your wife. If you don't mind, just share. You said she's an actress, so where does she work out of right now? What's she doing, or what are her projects?
Cool, man. I could talk about this one all day long.
And
But
excuse me, her first name again is okay.
Siobhan Grandison. She is an actress. So, before my wife went to school, back to school to go get her MFA, which is a master's in fine arts in acting. And MFA are kind of essentially anonymous with your Meryl Streeps, your Viola Davises, your Denzel Washington, so on and so forth. People who have gone and trained to get to the level in which they're at today. So my wife got her master's in fine arts in acting, just graduated last year. Before she went to school there, she was in Nickelodeon. She was in a couple smaller like independent films and those kind of things, coming all throughout school, where she went to a 3-year program out in California, University of California, Irvine. Shout out to the Anteaters. But she went to school for 3 years. She was in a number of different roles there, performed in Romeo and Juliet,
Wow.
As You Like It within Shakespeare, and their most prominent female role that she had there with Rosalind. She did another professional theater experience at in Orange County at South Coast Repertory Theater in a Alice in Wonderland rendition. So she's been kind of the star of the show in a lot of her different things, and now coming out here to Atlanta, looking for representation to then be able to represent her and for her to get out here in the TV and film regard. The cool thing about my wife, I told her recently, is that she's in an industry that has the entertainment industry position, I would say, that has the longest shelf life. She's not a football player. She's not a basketball player. She's not
Right.
a hip hop or none of that. In which that has a very quick. I was here and then I was now. In acting, as you can see, say from some of your best actors and actresses, they're able to do it for a long period of time, and so she's taking it one step at a time. I said, and really trying to find the right representation for her here in a new city and area where then she can start to build out and create a long-lasting career for herself. So super proud of her. I could talk all day long about her, but nonetheless, Siobhan Grandison, she's also on Instagram and that kind of thing, and ready to take it by storm.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, you know what, Bryce? It's funny how 45 minutes to an hour. So we got to get you
Yeah.
back.
Okay, cool.
And maybe I'll see you again when I'm walking around. And I did a couple rants, one or two rants on a Friday, and Friday's usually my rant day. Now I didn't do it this past because we were getting ready to go see my son, but I always like to take a look at the new developments. And there's a place now called Rome, since you're in real estate, and that goofy looking building when you go into the forum, it's office space that they're going to rent out. So if you want to do this, or you want to have a rent a space and you're kind of a brick and mortar institution, or at least you want to come across that way for interviews and or business propositions, they're going to offer a lot of different things over there. So I'm curious to see how that all develops. And that again is in Peachtree Corners, Georgia. I will say this, and I don't know how you feel about. I know you don't live here per se, but you live in Gwinnett County, one of the fastest growing counties in the United States. And I have to say it, Peachtree Corners. I haven't said this in a long time. Is the peachiest place on the planet, bar none. So, whether you like it or not, and check out our concerts. They'll be coming up. As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, in May they start kicking off the events.
In my lovely home city right now in Swanee, right here at the Swanee Town Center. Just this past weekend, they were kicking off a bunch of different stuff.
Sure.
So where I do a lot of my business focus is Swanee, Johns Creek, Alpharetta, Milton. What I'm saying?
Who's with the rich folks up there, people? I'm teasing you.
Hey, you got to take it one step at a time. But nonetheless, I love where I'm at. Excited to be here. My wife and I are truly enjoying it. Almost nearing just a bit over 9 months of being here, but nonetheless learning a ton every single day and truly loving our new place to be.
Right. That's a transition going West Coast to East Coast, particularly in the South. But at Metro Atlanta's changed a lot since I moved here in the 80s. So I've seen it, man, it's really changed. So
one thing I want to remind people a lot is that Atlanta metropolitan areas is a top 5, top 7 at the highest end metropolitan city in all the United States. I mean, when you think about it, we're talking. Let's just kind of name it. By ballpark: Los Angeles, New York, San Francisco, Chicago. I mean, I would argue that Atlanta is in your next hub there, and so. Multiple Fortune 100 companies, a number of different other Fortune 500 companies, and just growing and developing here.
And this is why I love having guests that like yourself, but more importantly, crowds that, he's yelling in my ear here, Dan. And Dan, I was going to do that on a sidebar, but you're absolutely correct. Plug in. Your wife needs to plug in to Glenn Morshower. He
I
is
know.
an actor. I kid you not. And let's see. I'm sure you've probably, if I name some of the movies, uh, I know you would probably recognize him. Friday Night Lights. He's played in that as a acting part. Another one is Transformer. You remember the colonel, I believe he was, or the
Here.
general? Huh? He's in Texas. Glenn lives
Oh,
in Texas, but he does a lot of training with actors. He has improv. He does a bunch of things. We call him the sage. He's very knowledgeable. He has wisdom, and when there's wisdom, I always say this. Forgive me, my church of the Orthodox. Let us be attentive. When you hear wisdom, you really do need to like zzz, and listen so the words sink in. But yeah, Glenn offers a lot, but have her plug in with Glenn. And he can probably direct her. Like he comes to Atlanta for pictures and various productions. I know he's been here. So, but he is a Texas guy, and he's funny. He can do different accents, and oh man, he's a trip.
man, my
But
wife is is a breast. They did all of that in school,
yeah,
and
oh yeah, yeah.
she can go
Actors
to
are
well.
different.
Oh
They
yeah, they're definitely they're a different breed.
yes, yeah,
They're a
absolutely.
different breed.
So, and Glenn will get you off your high horse, and he'll bring you down to the 0 point because he's not one of those guys way up here. He could be, but he's very approachable. So, and that's why people like him. Well, do you have anything else that you would like to add?
Anybody here who is able to listen, enjoy what we're talking about today, please. It's been awesome to number one be with you, Mark, over this last hour or so. I definitely would love to join you back again. But additionally, my email is down below. That's been going on a ticker, and that's been excited to
Did you
see.
notice that? Do
Yeah,
you
that's
want
been
your
pretty
phone
cool.
number down? Do you want me to blow up your phone? Do you want your phone number down there? Okay, so he's
Blow my
saying that
phone
some,
up.
some
Uh,
people are afraid if I put a phone number down here, man.
No, not
Uh,
me. That's my business right now. So, my personal cell phone number is 510-866-4124.
really?
Once again, 510-866-4124. And I also have a mobile number that's a little bit more closer here to home here in the Georgia area, which is 770-232-6331, which is once again 770-232-6331. I would love to talk with anybody. If you have any questions about real estate, just want to talk real estate, and even better, if you want to actually transact in buying real estate, selling real estate, or investing in real estate here in all across Metro Atlanta, I'm your guy. Give me a call.
So you said your cell is 510. Before I get out of here, I got to put it in here. 510-866, right? See this 4121 24 rather. Sorry. This is what's great about doing this live. I don't care, and everybody say it's not professional. And does that work? Is that your okay? So that's how you can call them. So if there's something you want to talk to Bryce about, real estate wise, give him a call. And if not, you can always go back to uh, LinkedIn. Well, Bryce, I'm going to say adios. I'm not. Don't go anywhere. Please don't go anywhere. I'm going to put you in the green room. Okay. So let me do that real quick. And I want to say thank you so much for joining Elevate Your Profits. We will have you back. Tom will probably be back. Hopefully, I didn't screw this up. Hopefully, I didn't hurt you. Hopefully, this helped you.
Oh,
And
yes, it was an enjoyable
everybody's
experience.
probably like watching me going, man, he's doing it all. We got a couple comments here. So what do we got here? Up there we go. Hey, brother, Robert, and we got Christopher Rash. He's another guru of the mind, the mindset. He's the no nonsense coach as far as getting your act together. Thank you both. That sounds like a Canadian. Yeah, very good. So let me see what Chris Rockstar's up in here. Great to see you, Peachtree. He always calls me that. And he is from the West Coast, Christopher is. I call him Chris. And you'll see Chris, he'll take a walk and do a rant, and he'll talk about mindset, accountability. I call it the accountability mirror. He'll get on you about why you should drink water and take better care of yourself. And he's usually on, if I'm not mistaken, on Tuesdays. And Chris, please don't hate me, but if you're surfing and looking on Facebook, you will catch up to this gentleman. It's a good man. He's got his act together. I just
Both
want to say,
added you guys on Facebook.
yeah. What can you share with us? Do you mind? How old are you?
I am I'm at the very ripe age of 28, but
My
use it
God,
to
I knew it. And this is good stuff. At 28, I wasn't even near you. Oh my goodness, I don't even want to tell you what I was doing at 28. Some of it might not have been legal. I mean, I don't know.
but I got a good amount of experience and a lot of wisdom, and look up to people like Mark, who I can learn from as well, who help keep me on straight. So use it to my benefit, not to my hurt.
You are like my oldest son. You're right around that age. So this is wild. So this is good. My younger guy is 24. But anyway, Bryce, I do want to say thank you so much. I'm going to put you in the green room, tell everybody hello, and I got to sign off, and then we'll come back. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. And even the great Christopher Rosh, I always got to, he summarizes it. Rock stars up in here. Great to see you, Peachtree. Thank you, Chris, for being here. We appreciate you. Everybody that showed up this evening, please like, tag, share. If you enjoyed this broadcast, as always, my friends, I'm going to give it to you straight, and it kind of goes like this. Don't forget out there, through your many journals or journeys rather and travels, to be a leader, be a friend, and most important of all, be a service. Let's look out for one another out there and make it a better place. That's what it's all about, everybody. There's one planet, and let's figure out a way we can all coexist. That's the name of the game, right? And with that, I'm going to sign off and thank you again, my friends, for being here.